Okay, this is 9.4b, Introduction to Unlike Denominators. One thing I want to go over is when you add and subtract fractions. Remember, all rational expressions are just a fraction of some sort. If you are adding 3 over 4 plus 1 over 2, you cannot combine these two fractions. Remember that when you add and subtract fractions, you're only combining the numerator, so the top numbers. The ones on the bottom, your denominator, have to be exactly the same in order for you to combine them. So here I have two different numbers. One thing you always want to do when you're adding and subtracting is you want to factor your denominator. You want to factor the whole thing, but more importantly, you need to factor your denominator first. So I can factor this 4 here into 2 times 2. So I have 3 over 2 times 2 plus 1 over 2. So what we're looking for are any missing factors or extra factors that you have in one and not the other. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to multiply them wherever they're missing. Okay, so here I have an extra 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2 in the numerator and the denominator. It's really important that you do it to both the top and the bottom. Otherwise, you're going to get the wrong answer. So if we go ahead and do that, I'm just going to rewrite this over here. So we have 3 over 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1 times 2 is 2, and then I'm just going to keep it 2 times 2 on the bottom so you can see that they're the same. Okay, so that's just going to be 3 over 4 plus 2 over 4. Now that we have a common denominator, you can combine your numerators. So you have 3 plus 2 over 4. Okay, please make sure that you guys aren't changing the denominator. The denominator, once you have the same terms down there, doesn't change. You only add or subtract the top. So 3 plus 2 is 5 over 4, and this does not simplify, so your answer would be 5 over 4. Now it is a little confusing when we're just dealing with fractions and I show you how to factor it, but you'll see it a little bit more with the other examples once we start factoring some actual expressions here. So I have 3x minus 5 over 2x plus 8 minus this entire fraction, x squared minus 6 over x plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and factor it. I can't factor anything out of here, so that's just going to come over 3x minus 5. I can factor a 2 out of here, so if I take out a 2, I'm left with x plus 4. Minus, this is not going to factor, and neither is the bottom. Okay, so I have these two. I'm going to put this here in parentheses so you guys can see that they are supposed to be grouped together. So if I look at the two denominators, they both have an x plus 4, but this one has a 2 on it. So that's going to be my missing factor. I need to multiply this one by 2 on both the numerator and the denominator. Now you want to be careful. You want to make sure that you plug this here. You put parentheses around it so that you know to distribute that 2 to the first term and the second term. The same thing here on the bottom. You'll have to distribute it to both terms. If you don't distribute, if you only multiply by the end terms there, you're not going to get the right answer. So I'm just going to bring this down over here. 3x minus 5 over 2x plus 4 minus, I'm actually going to distribute that 2x squared minus 12 in the numerator, and in the bottom I'm going to leave it in factored form so that you can see now we have the exact same thing in the top. We have the exact same thing in both denominators. So now one thing that you don't want to forget to do is to distribute this negative. So once again, this goes in parentheses and you need to distribute that negative there and there. And that's just going to change the sign. I'm bringing down my first expression. I'm going to put it all over 2 times x plus 4 because we can combine these two fractions now. I'm going to distribute this negative. Negative times that 2 is just minus 2x squared. Negative times a negative is a positive. So that becomes plus 12. So now from here you want to make sure you combine any like terms that you have. This negative 2x squared is going to come out front. There's only one 3x. And then we have negative 5 plus 12, which is going to give you a positive 7. And it's all going to be over 2 times x plus 4. If you wanted to distribute this 2 and give me 2x plus 8, that's fine. But for the purpose of this section and in Khan Academy, you can go ahead and leave it factored. So my numerator does not simplify. I can't factor it out. So that's actually going to be my answer right here. Right? If you could, you would simplify and go ahead and cancel out any factors that are same in the top and the bottom. For this example, it's a little more simple. So I have 2 over x squared minus 1 over xy. So I'm just going to factor this out. This is 2 over x times x minus 1 over x times y. So you're looking for any missing factors. So they both have x's. So I'm just going to kind of cross them out. They both have x's. You're missing an x over here and a y over here. So now you have to multiply both fractions. This one over here is missing that other x to get that x squared. So I'm going to multiply the one on the right by x. This one over here is missing the y. So I need to multiply the bottom here by y and the top by y. So in this example, both fractions will change. So make sure that you're following along here. So if I multiply the one on the left, I have y times 2 is going to be 2y. X times x, I'm going to leave it x squared y here. Okay. If you want, you can leave it x times x. That's fine for now. Minus 1 times x is x. X times x is x squared, and then y. Now that I have the same denominator in both of them, I can go ahead and combine them. Just your numerator. So I have 2y minus x in the numerator all over x squared y. I can't factor anything out of my numerator, so your answer is just going to stay like this. All right, that's all we're doing. I have a couple more examples for you. Here I have 9m minus 1. This does not factor. 8m plus 2 does factor. So I have 9m minus 1. I can pull out a 2 here, so I have 2 times 4m plus 1 minus the 5 stays there, and the 7m squared also does not factor. So here, if you look at the two denominators, there are no common factors in here. So you're actually just going to multiply them together. So the one on the right over here is missing all of this. So I'm going to multiply by, in this instance, you can either multiply by 2 times 4m plus 1, or I'm actually going to do the 8m plus 2. Okay, these are the same thing. I'm going to use this one here because I'll only have to multiply one time. Here, if I multiplied this by this factor here, you'd end up having to multiply twice, the 5 times the 2, and then distribute that. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna use this one here. Okay, so what you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Make sure you keep that in parentheses so that you know to distribute it. Now the one on the right, the one on the left is missing that 7m squared. So I'm going to multiply by 7m squared here, 7m squared there. Remember, this is going to stay in parentheses so you can distribute it. And when I multiply it here, I'm actually going to use this 8m squared. So I'll rewrite it. I have 9m minus 1 over 8m plus 2. I'm just rewriting it, guys, so that you don't get confused. So this one I'm multiplying by 8m plus 2. And this one I'm multiplying by 7m squared. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Don't forget to bring down this this negative over here. So remember, you're just going to multiply your coefficients first. So 7 times 9 is going to give you 63. M squared times m is m cubed. And then when we distribute it over here, it's just going to be minus 7m squared. Over here, we have 7 times 8. You're going to have 56m cubed. 7m squared times positive 2 is going to give you a positive 14m squared here. Minus 5 times 8 gives you 40m. 5 times 2 is plus 10. 7 times 8 is 56m cubed. And then times 2 over here is plus 14m squared. So now that we're here, you can see that we have the common denominators, 56m cubed plus 14m squared. The same thing here, 56m cubed plus 14m squared. So you can combine the numerators, 63m cubed minus 7m squared. Distribute that negative, minus 40m minus 10 all over 56m cubed plus 14m squared. And I'm just going to leave it like this, guys. It's already in standard form, 3, 2, 1, 0 here for your exponents. I'm not going to bother to factor it because that's going to take a while. And for right now, I just want to make sure that you understand how to add and subtract your expressions. I have one more example for you. So I have 5k plus 2 over x squared minus 9 plus k minus 4 over 3x squared plus 3x. Keep in mind here that we have two variables, k in the numerators and your x's in your denominators. So nothing's going to factor out of here. This is actually the difference of squares. So this is going to factor to 5k plus 2. Nothing changes in the denominator. This is going to be x plus 3 times x minus 3 plus k minus 4. I can pull out a 3x here. 3x is going to leave me with x plus 1. Okay, so here they both share nothing. Yeah, okay, so there are no common factors, so we're going to end up doing the same thing. We're going to have x squared minus 9 times this whole 3x plus 3. 3x squared plus 3x. So I'm actually going to start from over here so that I don't have to rewrite it. I'm going to be multiplying this by the one on the right. So I have times 3x squared plus 3x in the numerator and the denominator. Make sure that you keep this here in parentheses. And here I'm going to multiply by the x squared minus 9, x squared minus 9. Okay, so in this example, you guys are actually going to have to FOIL, and it's going to be a lot of math. Let me get another paper. Okay, so when we FOIL this, we have 3x squared let's see. I'm going to make it easy on you guys. So you can actually leave your answer in factored form. So this is what we're going to do. We have 3x squared plus 3x in the numerator times 5k plus 2. Normally you would FOIL that, but here we're going to leave it just like this. So here we're multiplying these two, 3x squared plus 3x times x squared minus 9 plus, I'm just going to rewrite this, k minus 4 times x squared minus 9 all over 3x squared plus 3x times x squared minus 9. Okay, so from here we notice that we have the exact same denominator. So now we're just going to combine our numerators. So we have 3x squared plus 3x times 5k plus 2 plus k minus 4 times x squared minus 9 all over 3x squared plus 3x times x squared minus 9. All right, and that's it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and let you put this in factored form, and then in class, the next time that I see you, I'll actually FOIL it out for you guys so you can see what it'll look like. For now, I just want you to get into the habit of making sure you have a common denominator and then combining the numerators. I have I have one practice problem for you here. And then don't forget that your homework for this section is one of the Khan Academies. If you have any questions, let me know or shoot me a remind, and I'll see you in class.